Hello everybody, welcome to Recovery Lab TV. My name is Chris, I'm your coach and sports therapist, and welcome to my Ironman Bolton video. It is all about the gear that I'm literally taking for race day. It is little advice, tips. It's something that I'm going to be doing and taking, and I just kind of wanted to run through that kind of kit list, if you will, so that maybe if you're kind of building up to either Ironman Bolton or you're just packing and preparing for a Ironman 70.3 distance race in future, then maybe this video can help you. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the community. I'd love to have you here, and I'm always really appreciative of both current subscribers, so thanks for watching, and new subscribers. So one of the main reasons why I'm doing this video is because this is my first race of the season. I haven't done an Ironman since September, Ironman Wales last year. And to be honest with you, it feels like a lifetime since I've kind of got all my kit out. And going through everything, I'm like, have I got everything? I honestly feel like I've never raced before in my life. So hopefully you guys will kind of go through that. I've thought I had in my phone some photos of all this stuff, so that I could go back as a reference point. So maybe in future, if you use this video, or get all your kit laid out on the floor, take a kind of aerial photo of it, and then save it to your favorites, or save it in a space on your phone that you can literally refer to. Maybe your notes section, if you want to kind of write notes on everything that I do here, and then go from there, or simply save this video and you can watch it from time to time. So race morning, I kind of get up, I will chuck on my heart rate strap and tri-suit. I'm wearing the Ryzen tri-suit. I've had it for years and years and years. This is a battered version. So I've got a Garmin heart rate strap that links to both my watch and my bike computer, which is really important. Ryzen kit, it's a full suit, including a nice little pocket here that kind of stretches out. It's absolutely battered, as you can tell. I've worn this for the past several years. It is brilliant, it's super comfy. And yeah, still holding out. So I'm still going to be wearing that on race day this coming Sunday. I've got my Roka Maverick wetsuit. Now I only tend to wear this for race days or leading into the race, kind of week or weeks building up into it. That way it kind of allows me to kind of get into the suit, get a feel for the suit, and so on. So then that way I can kind of fits like a glove, if you will. Now I put Body Glide on my neck. I live by this stuff. This stuff I've used since I've started racing, and it's something that I will continue to use forever. So Body Glide stops you getting any sort of neck rash and any sorts of problems like that. I wear surf ears to stop myself getting any ear infections. Years ago, back in 2025, I had an ear infection in my left ear, and it caused a nightmare, so I always do that from then on. I have a Precision Fuel and Hydration 30 gram carb gel. Always take a gel 30 minutes before the race starts, and then that way it allows the kind of energy to kick in, stomach to kind of settle, ready for the race itself. Now I've got a tub of chamois cream. I use Athlete Performance by Muck-Off. It's a brilliant chamois cream. Generally you can get them on deals. I got these on deals, which is why I've got two. One's on its way out, and then obviously I'm going to use the other one race day. Now, a lot of people will naturally put their chamois cream on in the comfort of their hotel room. By all means, makes sense. You don't really want to be doing that at transition, because obviously there's less privacy. However, if you chuck a little bit in a kind of food bag, You literally flip the food bag inside out, use it as a glove, and use the chamois cream anywhere and everywhere you need to. You're more than likely going to wash that stuff off once you get to transition and you join the queue of athletes as you need the toilet for your 4th or 5th time. So just be aware of that. You might want to save the chamois cream for afterwards. You might not. You might have a better bladder than I do and everybody else, but just a kind of heads up, if you're putting chamois cream on and your hotel room, you may need the toilet again once you get into transition. You've got to set your bike up. Now, I've got my goggles. I tend to wear the Speedo Fastskin Elite Mirror goggles. I've had these years, as you can tell by the box. I only tend to wear these for race days just because they fit my face like a glove and they make me feel a little bit faster. And then lastly, for breakfast, I tend to have a dry breakfast. So I'll have some sort of Belvita biscuits or set of toast. And then generally a cup of tea to go with it. It kind of settles my stomach. It's something that I do all the time. I tend to have a dry breakfast most mornings. And yeah, I'm good to go. Now, once I've got my wetsuit on and my tri-suit on, that's me kind of done. I'll literally put my dry robe on. Got it just here. I'll stick that over the top, and then this will go in my white bag for after the race. Something else that I will have for after the race is a pair of sliders, just because it's nice to take your trainers off and feel nice and comfy. Now, another thing that I like to do is I like to take my bike pump. Now, the reason being is because if it's boiling hot and it's a really hot weekend, you want to let some air out of your tyres because the heat will inflate your tyres, and I've seen so many valves burst. One of them including my own a couple of years ago in Ironman Swansea. So if you haven't seen that, go back and check the videos on that. Always check your tyre pressure race morning. But yeah, it's a lesson I learned, and a lesson I want to pass on. Release some of the air pressure the night before when you put your bike into transition, because depending on the temperature, it will either inflate or deflate. And then on race morning, you can then literally come in with your bike pump it up to the necessary kind of PSI, and then you know that your bike is good to go. Now, the reason why I take mine is because it screws on nicely. Some of these pumps in Ironman, although they have hundreds, they don't screw on like mine, and I'm just a little bit particular in regards to how I like my pump to kind of screw on, so I know that it's the right PSI, whereas some of them, the valves don't fit, or the dial on it doesn't fit, so you're not necessarily sure, and then because you're rushing around, it just takes a little bit of stress off me, and then I kind of give that pump to my family, and they take it back home. Now, T1, okay, so coming out swim exit, going into your bike. Something I tend to put on my bike in the morning before the race is my bike nutrition. Now, I tend to take a bottle. Now, this is 750 mils. I'm going to empty this bottle into here. Now, this bottle is 500 mils, which will leave me with 250 milliliters of kind of water and salt, electrolytes to sip away before kind of I start the race, and then I take my gel. The rest of the water and kind of electrolyte water is in this bottle that's going to be attached to my bike, and then I have a old Ironman bottle, or a bottle that is one of my oldest in my collection. I'll have this already mixed up with kind of carb solution, or again electrolyte solution, or just simply water, and then I'll put that on the back of my bike. And then when I'm racing, I can literally just chuck that bottle and then replace it with a brand new shiny Ironman bottle. It's a nice way of kind of literally keeping the pace and kind of dumping and going. And then you've got, for me, another bottle here, which has all my electrolytes, not my electrolytes, my carb gels inside. Now I'm going to empty all those gels into this, and it'll bring it up to about 300 grams of carbs, which is going to be my fuel source ready for the bike ride. That, along with my electrolyte tablets. I use the 1500s because I'm a pretty sweaty person, but you can get 500 and 1000 milligrams of sodium. A thing that I use and I love, and I've absolutely battered this, is the no pins race belt. You literally step into it, the race bib slides in through the back underneath here, it slides in and literally acts like a little Polly Pocket, and you literally just chuck it on and wear it like so, and you spin it round so it's on the back, and then when you're on the run it just literally spins it around. It was about 30 quid when I bought it many moons ago, but it's absolutely brilliant, and it saves all the tearing of kind of race bibs that can happen with the paper sometimes, and then obviously the stress of that as well. Plus afterwards you get to take that out and potentially stick it in a frame, which is always nice. I've got my aero helmet by Specialized, and I've got my Oakley sunglasses, which I always tend to ride with just to stop any bugs kind of hitting my face. I've got my bike shoes with my cleats at the bottom, like I showed you earlier, my Garmin. Now I tend to put the bike route on my Garmin, and then as I'm getting changed in transition, I'll turn that on, select the route, and then that way I like to ride with the route on course, just because on Garmin, as many of you may know already, it can tell you when you're coming up to climbs and so on and so forth, you know. Another thing I tend to do is I've got a little solution here where if you need to and you have any sort of punctures, you can literally just take the puncture out, put this back in, it kind of puts it and seals it instantly and inflates the tyre. It kind of saved one of my clients when they did Ironman Bolton for their first Ironman, and allowed them to get the job done, and it literally took the stress right back off and allowed them to calm back down and finish that bike ride. Another thing that I've mentioned in previous videos is this little Bolton transition bag. It's a silicone bag, it opens super easy, but inside I've got a little towel, I've got a little food bag with some chamois cream in that I reapply after the swim. I've got another gel, and I've got some little baby talcum powder. Now, reason why I have talcum powder is because you can literally dry your foot off quickly, but it's still damp, still a little bit moist. And then I kind of talc my feet so they're completely dry, and then I slide my socks on, and then I'm good to go. The chamois cream is then to reapply, just because as most men, we tend to be a little bit hairier than you women, and that causes friction, and I've been in many situations where it absolutely annihilates you and tears you a new one, so it's something I don't really want. Now, going into transition 2, I've got something similar. Now, if it's a soaking wet day, which this weekend is looking like to be, reapplying your chamois cream before you go out and run might be a thing that you need to do. Or if it's really hot and you've just been super sweaty, you might need to reapply it again. Now, I've got an extra little food bag with some chamois cream in there as well. I've also got another gel. I've also got some Compeed plasters. Say, for example, I'm having a bit of a rough day with my cycling shoes for whatever reason. Like I said, it's raining this weekend, so you might cause some rubbing. So I've got them just in case, and then I've got a fresh pair of socks in there ready for the run. I've got my running trainers. I wear the kind of the fancy Nikes that everyone seems to have, the Alpha Flies. Mine are this lovely white and pink colour. So if you see me on the course, this is what to look out for. Be that in a black tri-suit. So take that. Now I have a little Stride power meter that allows me to kind of monitor on my watch the effort in which I'm putting out. I've got a nice little precision hat that I tend to wear just because it makes me faster, or so I believe. And then some chews. Now, some people will use gel, some people will use course nutrition. I tend to like something solid when I'm kind of running. I will have the gel out there, and then literally precision to these amazing chews, and I might take a few on the bike just to have some sort of solid. But they're mint and lemon flavour, they're 30 grams, they're literally 2 squares, although you can get a bigger version now that they've literally just released with a 60 gram bar, and literally within a couple bites they're gone, and they taste amazing. They're kind of like a little sweet treat, I like to believe anyway. And it just kind of hits the spot. It just gives you the energy you need, and you know exactly, like I need roughly between 75 and 95 grams per hour depending on effort. Now here is your 90 grams. So without any of the nutrition, like the hydration stuff, without any of the mix inside the water or anything, all I need to then literally consume is these 2 bars, you know, which for storage when you're carrying on a bike makes life easy. For running, makes life easy. These are literally going to go in the back of my pouch, and then I'm just going to be off running and kind of enjoying myself whilst able to sustain the effort that I want to put out. And not get a dodgy stomach, because I've tried a million brands. Precision, I started with a couple of years ago now, and they have been the best for me ever since, you know, in regards to not having stomach issues. The Flow Mix, I literally had a bottle of the 300 gram Flow Mix that I just poured into here. I used that for Ironman Wales last year for the first time, and it was amazing. I expected to kind of get to a point where my stomach would feel dodgy, but I honestly never. And yeah, I finished it way before I finished the bike ride. I was literally just had a little mouthful, which is kind of like 100 grams, give or take, so a couple of gels. And that topped up with the chews, and then I tend to take some of these Belvita bars on the bike as well, just to give me some sort of real food texture, because I found out a few years ago when I did Bolton the last year and I was using Morton gels at the time and bars, it just wasn't enough for me. I felt starving, and then my brain was more focused on how hungry I was than the actual effort that I was putting in. But yeah, this is the stuff that I'm going to be taking, obviously taking my bike as well. And yeah, wish me luck. If you're racing this weekend, I'm on Bolton. By all means, come say hello to me. I hope this video helps in some way, shape or form. Good luck to those racing. If you're doing any other races this weekend, by all means, let me know in the comment section, and I'll be sure to add you to the trackers and be able to support you along the way. Other than that, thank you for watching. Hope you have an incredible weekend. Hope you have an incredible day, and I shall see you again soon. Take care.